Shashank, you have joined hands with Meghashrey NGO to launch a global sports pickleball championship tournament in India.
Yes.
Now, we all know that you have a lot of interest in dancing apart from making movies. So, what is the objective behind your association with this NGO and with this game?
So I think first of all, I have also a long association with sports. I used to, since the age of almost 4.5, 5, I've been playing tennis, and then played tennis at quite a high level right till the junior ITFs. So that was the International Tennis Federation run tournaments. And then had a fascination to play cricket, which almost every boy in India has had
Yeah.
at some level or the other, that we are going to play that. So I've always had a fascination towards sports all my life. Living in Nasik, I've had the good fortune of playing multiple sports. So when I came across this sport called pickleball, which has been there for lots of years. In fact, it started in the 60s in America. It's been in India since 2008, but not very well publicized, or not many people knew of it. But when I started playing it about 2.5, 3 months back, I have a background in tennis, so I found it very easy to play. But I just fell in love with the game, and I almost became an addict. Where my wife, I think, has threatened me 4 or 5 times कि तुम एक दिन और अगर रात में गए हो खेलने तो I'm going to divorce you. So वो हालत तक आ गई थी बात. And then I found a good opportunity to invest in it. So Global Sports is a company which has been running the game for a very long time, and they've been organizing tournaments. But this is the first time we are organizing it in such a structured and on such a large scale level, with prize money and stuff. And Meghashrey NGO has come on board. Meghashrey has been doing great work in the field of education, and I think it was a nice way to kind of come in. Our real motive is to create an alternative sport whereby young kids across the country can play the game and also have enough money in it so that hopefully in the near future they can make a career with it. So that is the broader goal. And the starting step is this tournament, which is happening on 5th, 6th, and 7th May. We've had a tremendous response thanks to all the celebrities who are supporting it and the advertising that we have done. Some of the best players in India and Asia are going to be playing this game. And we're just excited to kind of start this journey.
So, pickleball is a mix of badminton, ping pong, or table tennis and lawn tennis.
Correct.
So, please tell us more about the game and how accessible it is to a common man.
It's actually very simple. So yeah, it's a hybrid between TT, tennis, badminton, and other sports. It's, to explain in very simple things, it's a game played on a badminton court with the net not being high and being low. It's played with something called a paddle, which is like a hybrid of a TT racket and a tennis racket and a plastic ball. The best thing is you don't need to have played any sport to play this. It is very easy to pick it up. And how accessible it is as simple कि अगर आपके बिल्डिंग में बैडमिंटन कोर्ट है तो वो कोर्ट को नीचे गिरा दो till ground level. So 2.5 feet का net, get a paddle and a ball. It's something which is available from 200 rupees to 800 rupees to professional rackets which are expensive, and you don't need any other infrastructure and you can just start playing it. So literally 800 रुपए या 1000 रुपए में we can have 4 people who can start playing this game. So that is how accessible it is for India. And I really feel for our country, it's the best suited sport, whereby NGOs, people who love sports, people who have schools, they can make a small court and get all their students to start playing it. And you never know, in the next 2 or 3 years, this might become a viable career option for so many athletes.
So then, what is the big objective behind this venture of yours? How do you see this pickleball game growing in India? What is the larger plan?
So I think it's already making its foothold in India. We are already representing India on the Asia level and the Pacific level. In fact, some of India's young boys and girls and 35 age bracket people are already top players in Asia. So we already have a presence. This sport is already being considered by the Olympic Committee. So in the current Olympics that's going to happen, the next Olympics, you're already going to have a showcase for pickleball. And I'm hoping, if not the next, within the next 8 years, this is going to become an Olympic sport. The minute this becomes an Olympic sport, you have an opportunity for our country to win multiple medals in this sport on a world level. Now, if we have to be ready for that, the groundwork needs to be done from now. So that when we can't wait कि 8 साल बाद जब this game will become into Olympics, then we will start.
We'll be ready.
We should be ready. The other thing is, even on a macro level, it's a great sport to play world over. This is a sport whereby first of all, because it's a more skill-based game than power-based game, I think Indians will have a great opportunity on the world level, not just Asia level. We can compete with the best players in the world. Secondly, this game is
Maybe
huge in America. This can be a huge game for people who want scholarships abroad, who want to study and train abroad. It's already getting popular in Australia and America and Europe. So I think it's a sport of the future. The other good advantages is because of physicality, you can play this sport professionally for 25, 30 years. If as a 15-year-old you become a professional, you can play it till the age of 40, 45. Now that gives you a great opportunity to make a career. So I think it has all the makings of the sport of the future. It has all the makings to be a sport which India can adopt and make it its own. And I'm just hoping that with whatever efforts we are making right now, we can really help create this ecosystem and infrastructure for the country.
and also a healthier option for today's video game obsessed generation.
Absolutely. And trust me, this game is addictive. I started playing this game only 2.5 months back, and I look for reasons to skip and miss everything to go and start playing the game. Well, literally every evening, almost 2 hours, I'm dedicated to playing it. It's a great fitness option. Scientifically proven that any racket sport or paddle sport helps in hand-eye coordination and is great for the brain. And more than anything else, it's a great community game. You can go make good friends. All people can play. It's competitive. It fulfills everything you need as an athlete.
So, Abhishek Bachchan owns a badminton, a kabaddi, and a football team.
Correct.
SRK has his Night Riders sports entity. Ranbir owns a football team. Is this your venture like an investment beyond movies?
It definitely is an investment beyond movies, but I don't want to right now say that I'm comparing myself to any one of them because they're also invested in sports which have a huge legacy. And those are sports which are already very well established on the India and world level. Yes, that this is one of my desires that I can become a sports entrepreneur with this. But right now, there's a lot of work required in this sport on the ground root level. Like, because I come from a sporting background, I know how district level matches are. I know how, city level matches are. We are trying to right now provide ecosystem on that level. For it to become a league, for a tournament of that level, for us to become TV friendly or come on any of the big channels, I think we still have time. But we also live in the time of social media where things can accelerate much faster than earlier.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that we put in the right efforts. I get partners across the board who are like minded. Luckily, even in this small journey so far, I've met a lot of amazing people who are ready to support us, whether it's all our sponsors, people like Meghashrey, I Love Mumbai Foundation, Fila, the sports manufacturers. Everyone has reached out and said that, you know what, we are one with your vision. Tell us what you need. So I'm hoping that I find more such partners and we can truly accelerate the great growth of this sport. But our true victory will be when young people start playing this game on a more regular basis and it becomes a professional endeavor.
Do you also like to integrate this in one of your stories, like it being part of your movies? Because film has a wider reach. Yeah. Is there also a
So
plan?
maybe too early right now. I mean, once I think stories are best told about underdogs. So hopefully, first we can create a few underdog stories from pickleball, and then
Yeah.
it will find its natural course in the movies. Kabhi kabhi just to promote it, when you try and write a story about it, it doesn't seem authentic. I think our idea is that luckily I'm a filmmaker. I have access to a lot of influential people who can help us take this game to the masses. And right now, honestly, all the support I require from all my fraternity friends and all is nothing which has got to do with finance or anything. It's just to help us reach this sport to every house. Like right now, I have to explain someone what is pickleball. Hopefully, in 6 months, I won't have to
Oh,
explain.
good.
And
That's the
even if
idea.
that is our victory after 6 months, कि लोगों को ये नहीं बोलना पड़ रहा है कि pickleball क्या है, I think we would have reached way ahead.
But I want to digress a little bit and talk about your movies. We often heard actors talking about first day jitters. As a director and writer, how you feel on the first few days of the shoot? Do you like to start a film with an easier light scene, or which scene would you prefer like to start a film with?
So two things. One is I'm very process driven. I'm not a very result driven person. So because of that, I really work hard every day to put the process in place. So then, of course, it kind of takes care of the nervousness and the jitters because my result ke bare mein nahi soch raha. I'm really just hoping that whatever we have planned, we can execute it to the best of our ability. Of course, first day nerves are always very good to have as well. It's nice to be a bit nervous so that you are on the ball of the foot and not too relaxed. In case if my movie has a song sequence, I ideally like to start with a song sequence because in my experience and whenever possible, I mean sometimes it's not possible because you don't have all the actor dates or the set is expensive to build or you've not got the song. It can be multiple. But if all the factors work out and if my film has a song sequence, I ideally like to start with a song sequence because it helps everyone start with a fun atmosphere. You get to bond with everyone in 3 days of not a serious scene, but it can be a fun song sequence. It really helps the unit come together, the actors also to ease out, and then slowly we start getting into the scenes. But I tend to maybe not pick up the most dramatic scene first,
On day
but
one.
after the song, I will pick up the probably the trickiest scene in the film and start shooting that first. Because if the actors nail that, then the rest of the film is very easy and the sur gets set. So that's normally the process I follow.
Then talking about being the first, what generally is your first reaction when you see the first cut of your film for the first time?
I mean, you know what happens with an director's working on a script every day is that we are doing so much work on a scene to scene level that we are not really waiting for the first cut. I think the one thing I try and assess is that the script I had written, I hope I have done a better job than the script because that's my job as a director.
Because we
Now,
asked the same question to some directors a few years ago, and everybody said they sometimes feel that material is close to what they've envisioned, but not entirely what they've imagined.
you know, in my experience, you have realized that you never end up making the film you had imagined in terms of its 100% because there are some things you do better than the script and there are some things that you couldn't achieve. And there are multiple factors. I mean, when you go on to make a scene, right from location to actors to junior artists to weather to permissions to suddenly barish ho gayi, you don't know what are the so many obstacles that you're dealing with. So there are days you do a better job than you had imagined and there are days when you're like, oh shit, I didn't achieve what I wanted to. So I think overall you try and assess that have I done a good job as a director? And especially I'm a writer director, so I have to split
Yeah.
the job and say that this was my job as a writer. I hope I've done a better job as a director on the material and then put it into perspective and see that what have you achieved. But in general, I'm not extremely self-critical of my work, but at the same time, I'm not supremely happy either. I managed to kind of break down every day at its time and say that let's follow a process every single day. And I try and go back to my first instinct every time because there is a certain reaction you get for the first time when you had narrated a film. You know, with every narration after that, the reactions keep diluting because people know the script. So sometimes when
You
you see a scene, you might not find it humorous because आपको तो हर joke पता है. So you have to go back to the first narration to remember, no, yaar, this scene was funny. It is still funny. I don't find it funny because I have heard it 100 times and I've
time number
acted
of
it.
times.
But I need to trust my instinct and know that the audiences will also react in the same.
You have worked with Subhash Ghai for two films as a director's assistant
As an
on
assistant.
Yuvvraaj and on Black and White. Subhash Ghai was widely known as a showman of Indian cinema. He has a distinctive style, especially shooting drama and usage of trolley and
Absolutely.
cranes. Now, as a successful director yourself, what do you think was the biggest learning for you while working with Subhash?
Oh, it's so funny you are asking me this question because just 2 hours back, I was talking to somebody about Subhashji and his teachings. So I've had the good fortune of studying from his film school also. And there were many days when he would be on the film school and he would share his knowledge with us. That there are two things that I learned very precisely from him. One was he would always speak about the character of the hero and it is still relevant. I mean, I look at films today like a Pushpa, a KGF, and stuff, and I actually see they are all derivatives of Subhash Ghai's cinema. The characters like Kalia or his characters of Karma, his characters of Ram Lakhan, those are the characters which have probably inspired all of us to make these kind of movies. And he always said that the male hero should be like Krishna. He would say he should be naughty, he should be playful, he should be a savior, he should respect his mother, and he should also respect his stepmother. Subhash ji would tell us this. And if you look at all the big characters in films, you will find characteristics of Krishna in them. They are
Oh,
naughty as well, they are playful, they are saviors, and they have this unique relationship with their mothers. And that's why so many of those his characters were so legendary, and they kind of stuck with you. And the other thing he always told all the young kids was be ready for the opportunity. Don't wait for the opportunity to work on yourselves. Keep working hard every day. You never know when the opportunity might come. The day it comes, you can't ask for more time. You need to be ready. So I remember these two things, very clearly from his perspective. And that's two things I try to keep in my life as well.
you told me a few years ago when we spoke, like Rang De Basanti was the film that changed your life
Yeah,
and had deep impact on your filmmaking. Do
absolutely.
you also imagine how you will be shooting a particular scene when you are writing? Something that you think will stand out will be like a stamp of Shashank Khaitan.
Yes, I'm trying to discover my voice. I'm trying to create something, figure out something which is going to be my cinematic presence. I think to a certain extent, and I won't say it with any pride ki bahut ho gaya hai. Somewhere with my style of writing, I'm trying to create a voice of how I write romance or how I write humor. It's still not established, but I'm hoping I will find a clearer voice and do that. Yes, cinematically also there is a desire that I create a visual piece which becomes relevant and becomes almost expected from my kind of cinema. Like as you said, like even with a Rohit Shetty, what Rohit Shetty does, immediately you know it's a Rohit Shetty film, right? So I would love to create that. I am working towards that. But even at the same time, I also belong to a school of training where I'm also far more experimental in nature. Like I'm not happy just doing a particular genre of movies. Ideally, I would like to do all kinds of genres. I might succeed in some, I might fail in some, but my attempt is to keep making different kinds of cinema to keep challenging myself as well. So when I make a Govinda Naam Mera, it is my desire to create a comic thriller universe or a
Yeah.
world and try that. I'm also hoping that with every film I do, I push myself out of my comfort zone as well. And then yet in that same thing, find the balance of what I want to do. So yeah, it's tricky, but I'm hoping we achieve that.
And finally, what's the big plan? Where all you'll be taking pickleball tournament apart from Mumbai?
So with Global Sports, whom I've associated with, they already hold tournaments in Goa as well. So Goa and Mumbai are two places. I think right now our bigger objective is to first cement our positions in Mumbai, really become a full-on ecosystem right from playing, coaching, this to the bigger tournaments, and then creating the ecosystem across India. There is anyways a lot of people playing it across the country. I'm hoping that with our presence, we are able to reach out to more people and show them the way of how we can make this sport bigger. So really right now the idea is to focus completely on Mumbai and Maharashtra and then and Goa and hopefully then with that grow further.
Shashank Khaitan, all the best for all your ventures. Thank you so much for your time and best of luck.
Thank you, Vishal. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thank you.